Hi.
Hello.
This is going to be my new permanent retirement time for my live streams for a while. 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So next Wednesday, March 12th, we're going to do a live stream, Every Little Thing, episode 4, I think, with Mikey Arugula and Barbara, the Beatles dress lady. How's it going out there?
Holly White said, "Hello, STICKERMANIA family. Like the new time."
Polly?
Yeah.
Yeah, she likes it. Good.
Uncle Paul said, "Good evening, all my friends."
All right, Uncle Paul's here. May not have many here tonight. We're going to get used to the new time. How's it going out there? A few notes. Pink Floyd, they're going to have an IMAX at Pompeii, 1972. That I saw the trailer for April 24th at the IMAX. I like the Becoming Led Zeppelin documentary, so I will go see the Pink Floyd at the IMAX. It looks like it'll be pretty good. They've really cleaned it up and it looks amazing. Paul McCartney wrote an open letter to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame to get Joe Cocker into the Hall of Fame. That was pretty good.
Johnny Ramone said, "Yo."
How you doing, Johnny Ramone?
DV10136 said 10:30 p.m. was too late. Dan in Florida.
All right, so he likes my new time. I'm sure some of my regulars probably missed it because I just announced it a few hours ago. Shout out to, or little mini tribute to Joey Mullen that passed away last week from Badfinger. This is my favorite Badfinger album, Straight Up. I had a UK pressing once. It was amazing. I got to get another one, a first press UK of Straight Up, but they're hard to get. So my little notes of when I saw Joey at the Fest for Beatle fans in Chicago 18 months ago, when I first got into the lobby of the O'Hare Hyatt Regency, he was coming up the escalator and I saw him. I told my son, "Well, there's Joey from Badfinger," and I said, "Hi, Joey," and he stopped and he asked me how it was going. So that was pretty cool. And then when he did his little concert with Liverpool, they did 4 songs. They did Day After Day, Baby Blue, Come and Get It, and No Matter What. And Joey looked like he only weighed about 125, 130 pounds, but he gave it his all, every little bit he had in his soul to those 4 songs. So it was pretty good. Chicago Fest for Beatle Fans 2023.
Gordon Teed said, "Welcome, family. Praying for God's favor over your whole family." Daniel Costello said, "Is this your new time going forward?"
Yes, this is my new permanent time. Wednesdays and Saturdays.
Unless it's a Mikey episode.
No, Mikey, we're going to do it 8:30 too.
Oh, for real?
He wants to be earlier in the evening.
I'm at school no more too.
So next Wednesday, we're going to do, this time, 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, which is 5:30 out on the West Coast.
Greg is my hero said, "Hi, Frank. Got the first press CD of Straight Ups here. Send me an email."
He's got the first press CD?
Yeah.
Of Straight Up.
This is the CD that came out later on that Ron Fermanak remixed that's got the bonus tracks on it. But in the album, you want to get the first press from 1972 from the United Kingdom. I got a USA I got to find. It sounds pretty good, but the UK blew me away. I'm trying to get another First Press UK, a Band on the Run. There's several up on the from the United Kingdom, but they all look like they're not that great a shape. This has got the bonus tracks of Money Flying, Name of the Game, Suitcase, Perfection, and Baby Blue. So we're going to be at the Fest for Beatle fans in 3 weeks, March 28th to the 30th at the New York Metro. It's going to be, what's the name of the hotel? It's in New Jersey. Doesn't say here. But anyway, we got our rooms reserved at the secondary hotel they had for the fest. Now they're sold out in 2 hotels, so there's going to be a big crowd there this year, I think.
Greg is My Hero said produced by Todd Rundgren. Rundgren?
Yeah, well, you're right, but somebody produced 4 of the tracks. And he was a Beatle, and I'm sure you guys know who it was. There's my trivia question for the day.
Hyatt Regency, Jersey City.
Hyatt Regency, Jersey City is where we'll be at in 4 weeks. So you know that George Harrison was supposed to do this album, then he got tied up, and Todd Rundgren took it over. But George, he does tracks 5, 6, 7, and 9. So he did. He produced "I'll Die, Babe," and "Name of the Game," "Suitcase," and he produced the big hit track "Day After Day." That's my Joey Malone tribute. You guys got anything to say about Joey Malone? I'm saying that wrong again. Joey Mullen. Sorry about that, Greg.
Greg is My Hero said bonus tracks 1 Money, 2 Flying, 3 Name of the Game.
I just said it.
Okay. I don't know.
Okay.
I'm just reading what the comments are.
All right.
Daniel Castillo said, did you enjoy the Oscars?
Enjoyed the Oscars. I did not watch the Oscars. I saw the clips of it on YouTube, and the big thing for me was the Chapel Roan concert she did at the Elton John AIDS Foundation Grammys viewing party. She did that Sunday night. Chapel performed 57 minutes, and she did her usual set list, but then she added Your Song. She did the Elton John song, Your Song, and Elton came out and sang with her on Don't Let the Sun Go Down on Me, and he sat down on a chair and got up a little bit for the encore when Chapel was singing Pink Pony Club.
Caesar said, hello, Frankie family.
How you doing, Caesar? We got most of the regulars in here tonight.
Mr. Make-Believe said, the Living the Beatles Legend book on Mel Evans goes into a lot of detail on the Badfinger story.
Yeah, Mal Evans is the one that brought the Ivies to Paul McCartney's attention. And Paul liked the group, and he said he wanted to give a track to the group to get them some stardom, and he did the demo of Come and Get It, where he did all the instruments at Abbey Road Studios, and he gave the track to Badfinger, and Badfinger did a little different, did their Welch-like treatment to the song, and he said, no, you have to do it exactly like I did it if you want to make a hit, and they redid it. And the song became number 7 in the charts here in the United States.
Daniel Castillo said, did not know Timothy was dating Kylie.
Yeah, I didn't know that either about the Oscars, that Timothy Chalamet was dating Kyle Jenner. That freaked me out a little bit.
Yeah.
Johnny Ramone said, will Joey funeral be in Liverpool?
I don't know. Gregory Field probably knows the answer to that. Where's this funeral going to be at, Greg? He lived in the United States for, the last 20, 30 years of his life. All right, my other notes on Chapel, and then I'll get off of that. Pink Pony Club has gone to number 2 in the United Kingdom on the charts, right behind Not Like Us, but it's still going up. It could go all the way to number 1 next week. And in the United States, It dropped to 11 last week, and it's bounced back up to number 8 this week. So the Pink Pony Club is not done yet. Tate McRae went straight to number 1 on the album charts. What do you guys think of that? I talked about, and then Chapel Roan's new song, "The Giver," is coming out on March 13th as the release date. And she's got a big show in England in August. She's going to headline the Reading and the Leeds festivals with Travis Scott. What do you guys think of that? Chapel on March 3rd, she went to a Nancy Wilson concert from Heart, and she got to meet Nancy Wilson backstage. And Chapel said the song that she had on her number 1 song on her Spotify listening last year was Barracuda. So I have a pretty good hint that I think that the Barracuda is going to be on Chapel Roan's new album.
So do the Greg fuss about the funeral. It says it's to be announced, so they haven't done that. And then do it to Daniel, and then go to season below.
Okay.
So the funeral hasn't been announced yet.
Daniel Castillo said Kylie dated rappers Tyga and had kids with Travis Scott. Opposites attract. I guess.
Talking about Timothy and Kylie, but that's where she's had kids with all them, and then do the season.
She dated Travis Scott?
Had kids
Wow.
with him.
It all seems to be related. I just talked about Travis Scott.
Caesar said, "Hi Frank, can you tell the story on the Beatles poster in the back and what are they going for?"
The look posters, these are the original 1967 look posters came out of, they were shipped out of Chicago, Illinois. They are 22 by 31 inches in size. They have no tears, but they got some tape stains on the corners. And that's the original, that's the rare blue banner poster on the top, and all of them together is $750 shipped in a heavy duty poster tube I have for those 5 posters.
Greg is my hero said Beatles Red and Blue CD box for sale? Question mark.
Red and Blue is up on my STICKERMANIA 2853 eBay store. I have 540 items listed on my STICKERMANIA 2853 store. I have a feedback score now of over 14,000. And we have 900 videos up now on YouTube. Give me my other one. If you want to get a hold of me about anything on my show today, you get a hold of me at Mr.StickerMania@yahoo.com. This is the factory sealed red and blue from 2023. It is out of print. And I'm pretty sure I got it up there for like $120 on my STICKERMANIA 2853 eBay store. I had one of these open that I played in the car last year, and they did the Red album. It's got a lot of amazing remix tracks by Giles Martin using the new MAL technology of Peter Jackson.
Nicole said if I had wall space, I would be all over those posters.
Who probably had the wall space?
No, Nicole.
Nicole is interested in the posters.
She's on the wall space, you said.
Sarge, I'm going to start showing some things. No trivia questions tonight. We'll do that on Sunday contest.
Sunday.
On Saturday.
You said Sunday.
All right. Well, you correct me when I say it wrong. I'm 71 years old. I make a few mistakes.
You're welcome.
Been doing this a long time. I'm a first generation Beatles fan. Sgt. Pepper, this is a original mono UK. Got the flip backs there in the middle. It's got -1. I played it today. Excellent, hardly played condition. And if, like John Lennon said, you haven't really heard Pepper until you hear it in mono. Really powerful mix. I put on mono switch on my Yamaha natural sound receiver, and it really sounded good. But I think it's pretty rare when you get the record that's got an unbanded. It looks like one track leads right to the next. Sgt. Pepper Mono from the United Kingdom. The price of that is $200 shipped. It's got the cutout sheet from England, and it's got the original red psychedelic inner sleeve that says made in Great Britain down there on the bottom. That is my new theory on things like this, because they talk about other pressings maybe sound better. This is a historical artifact. Same as the Top Loader White Album is a historical artifact. And the Abbey Road First Press Misaligned from the United Kingdom, 1969. It is a historical artifact. Into that subject. Got this in today, brown disco case.
The rarest.
Somebody put up this on eBay the other day and didn't understand.
Hold on, read to Nicole.
Nicole said, I will take that mono Sgt. Pepper.
All right, Nicole's bought this Sgt. Pepper Mono. She got it quick. It's yours, Nicole. $200 shipped. So this is not talking about this one. This is more expensive than that. This is the rarest disco case there is from 1966, made by Charter Corporation out of New York City. Charter Industries Incorporated, New York City. It's even got the instruction sheet on the side. Have not put this up for sale yet. This is $500 shipped. The rarest disco case color there is the brown one. This is already sold. Only had this for a couple days. The second one I've ever had in my lifetime. A 1963 made by PYX in England. 1963. It's a little vinyl carrying case for 7-inch. Your 7-inch Beatles collection.
She's paid.
This sold locally for $400 to Dave Fraser. It's got little handles there. You pull them out, put your UK records in there, and you're ready to go. I think that's a cool little piece of Beatles memorabilia. Early Beatles memorabilia. Got another set of bobbing head dolls.
Help him, but be careful. Well, he might not look up and down. Just watch
Yeah, I got these.
Just watch out, don't knock them off. They're really fragile.
Are they going?
1964 car mascot dolls, bobbing head dolls. One of them has the tag, the sticker off the bottom, but the other three. So John's got and the other three have the gold stickers. You were supposed to put them in the back of your car there in 1964 and crank up the music and their the Beatles music, and they would all bop up and down. Ringo's got his stick still there. Price on those is $500 shipped. They're going to take some time to professionally package them so they don't get damaged.
Daniel Castillo said the same dolls Uncle Paul showed.
All right, Uncle Paul showed them. I had a set of these that was in the original box that was a new old store stock condition. I got one of the last sets that I think it was Colleen's Collectibles had in Ohio, and I sold them for $2,400. They were in the original box.
Daniel Castillo says, shout out to Uncle Paul.
How you doing there, Uncle Paul?
No, I mean Daniel was shouting out to
Oh,
Uncle
gotcha.
Paul. He wanted to shout out. That's what he was doing, promoting.
I didn't bring his card today, I don't think. I had his card in here, but I don't see it today. That's my card. Yeah, there it is. Here's Uncle Paul's card.
Yeah, there we are.
Can I see it?
If you haven't subscribed to Uncle Paul's Beatles Pop Playhouse, give him some more subscriptions. He deserves it. I think he has like 12 videos up there so far. And he was on one of our live streams with Mikey Arugula.
I wanted to see it.
That's my business card, Mr. STICKERMANIA. And it's got the YouTube address, Mr._STICKERMANIA@yahoo.com on the back.
Uncle Paul said, "Oh, thank you."
Give me that butcher cover. Perry Cox has that butcher cover right there. If you can believe this, Perry Cox has one like this that came out of a newspaper in 1966. And it explains how the Capitol Records lost $250,000 when they had to cover up the butcher covers. And this piece of newspaper like this, Perry Cox has up to $250 already in bids with 1 day to go. That freaked me out. I had no idea this newspaper article was worth that much money. Butcher covers we're talking about.
Did he read that or not?
What? What's he saying? No, because there was the same person last time that was annoying me. So that person's just not getting read today.
Gotcha. All right, we got my latest West Coast peeled butcher covers. My theory is that you won't see any West Coast like this peeled in the future. Excellent peel with a little, had a little tear there on the top edge. More realistic flesh colors. And I have this up for sale on my STICKERMANIA 2853 store at $1,777. West Coast peeled butcher cover with the right. That's a magical mystery tour. Wrong records on that one. Sorry. This one's got the right record yesterday and today. And the West Coast, this is a second state that I will not peel, and it's up, I think, for $15.99 on my STICKERMANIA 2853 store. You can see the butcher cover peeking through on the bottom edge. And you can see somebody tried to take a little corner off here to see if the butcher cover was underneath there. All right, let's put the butchers away if you guys don't have any questions on
Mr.
that.
Make Believe has a question. He said, Frank, in your opinion, what would you say would be a good trade in regards to the number of butcher monos for a stereo?
To trade? Oh, there's 5 times more monos out there than stereo butcher covers, if that's what you're asking me. They didn't make many stereos in 1966.
I'm the Paul Should Not Be Allowed to Die guy. Said, hey, hi gang, Perry here in Great Vancouver.
In where?
Great Vancouver.
He's from Vancouver. He's saying the Great Vancouver is what he's saying.
All right. So my son and my granddaughter listened to the track that they never heard before from the Beatles on Rubber Soul this week. They heard it on the Beatles channel. I don't think they play it anywhere else but the Beatles channel. And it was Run for Your Life, the last track on side 2. they had never heard a song with that kind of Beatle lyrics in there because it's not politically correct anymore. Run for your life. John Lennon was just going through a tough time in his life.
Yeah, it's different.
So this came out in Christmas of '65, and then he got in trouble with the Beatles Christianity comment a few months later, and then the butcher cover photo was taken in April of '66. So that was just a strange time in John Lennon's life where he got himself in quite a lot of trouble.
Larry Gonzalez said, I bought my first Beatles OG album yesterday.
You bought your first Beatles original album. Which one did you buy?
Sticker Brett said, I'm hungry.
Sticker Brad. Sticker Kid. He's in the chat. Way to go. What are you hungry for there, Sticker Teenager?
Probably a Lunchable.
A Lunchable.
Greg
Some
said,
cake.
yeah. Greg said rubber sole leather jacket from Russ Lease is a keeper, no longer being made.
All right. So this is a late 1980s CD set that only was available at HMV stores in England. And this was originally 215 pounds. And I'm pretty sure it's numbered, but I don't see it. But it's got a hologram. It's tough to see, but it's got a hologram cover showing Ringo's drums. And then it's got all 15 Beatles CDs the way they originally came out in the late 1980s. This is number 2969, limited edition. And then you pull out this tray.
Oh, I'm going to drop it down. There you go. Just leave it right there.
It's got this is the original tag. It was bought at 215 pounds from, what's the date? I do not see a date on here. It is June 3rd of 1989. This was purchased in England. It's got a instruction sheet for the lighting holograms. And it's got the booklet that has the drum set there on the cover. Big nice booklet with a lot of color photos of the Beatles. And it's got a nice pull-out poster. This kind of ties in with Paul McCartney's performance on Saturday Night Live a couple weeks ago. And in the end, the love you take is equal to the love you make. I remember I was having a spat with one of my girlfriends 20 years ago, and I sent the Beatles clip of that track from Abbey Road. I put that on my message machine. So the price on that, if somebody's interested, is $300 shipped.
Larry Gonzalez, the first Beatles OG album that he bought was Beatles 65.
Beatles 65. Here's some originals that I got out of this collection last week. Beatles 65 and the Factory Shrink. A stereo. Has a price tag. It was discounted at $2.67 in 1965. And what year did this album come out? That's always the difficult trivia question. I got that at the Fest for Beatle fans. I got the right answer on that. Came out late 1964.
DePaul Should Not Be Allowed to Die guy said he took the lyric for Run for Your Life from Elvis Let's Playhouse. And then Caesar said, who's Sticker Brett, the young sticker kid or the young adult sticker kid? Give the kid some food, LOL.
The young one.
Young one.
Young
He's
one.
14 years old.
And he's
So this is the original White Album in great shape from the USA, numbered. It's not like the top loader, they look quite a little bit different. That's the USA and that's the United Kingdom. You can see the Beatles embossed is more pronounced on the UK than it is on the United States.
Greg said Ringo's dropped T #1 drumhead logo hangs in Paul's
Sussex
studio.
Suffolk Studio.
I'm the Paul Should Not Be Allowed to Die guy said, make sure Frank listens to the Sun recording of Let's Play House for the I'd Rather See You Dead Little Girl.
I will do that.
Greg said 1964. Mr. Beetle Pro said December 64.
Yeah, way to go, Tom Beatles Pro. You don't win anything tonight. I sent your, should be getting your, what did he win? Uncle Paul won the sweatshirt. Tom Beatles Pro won the Ringo poster.
Poster, yeah.
So I got this in. I got the volume 1 coming tomorrow. 1969 from Ampex tapes, a factory pre-recorded reel-to-reel. This is the one that has the Paul is Dead edits. The rumors were going so much in 1969. This is the only official release from the Beatles that ever had Paul is Dead edits on volume 1 and volume 2. This is actually factory sealed, in perfect condition. 1969, how many years ago would that have been? 56 years old. That's pretty amazing. Not too many Beatles factory pre-recorded reel-to-reels out there that are factory sealed. I've had a few of them in my lifetime. This is about the 5th one I've owned.
Yeah, do that.
DJ Morano said, I have the Beatles double white on 4-track tape.
That is a 4-track tape.
He was saying he had it.
There's a 3 3/4 that came out in 1968 from Capitol Records, but this is the one from Ampex tapes that redid it in 1969, but they did it at 7.5 inches per second, which is a better sounding version, but it has 7 Paul is Dead edits on volume 1 and volume 2.
The Paul guy said, do you mean the I Am Buried Paul lyrics?
Yeah, that's that, and the Walrus, another clue for you all. There are 7 songs. I'll go into more depth when I get into volume 1. I'll talk about it Saturday night, the 7 edits on 7 different songs. I know on volume 1, it's the Why Don't We Do It in the Road, and I'm not going to come up with all of them right now. But and Revolution number 9 on this one, but I'll talk about it more on Saturday night.
Richard James wants to know your favorite Beatles song.
Favorite Beatles song? It changes all the time. We were listening to Sgt. Pepper today. I like Day Tripper a lot. Paperback Writer is a good one. There's just so many. And no matter how many times you hear Hey Jude, you're still, it gives you goosebumps when you hear it. And same with She Loves You from the early.
Do that, DJ.
Sure Loves You, never gets old for me.
DJ Morano said, not reel to reel, but 4-track tape. It came before 8-track.
Oh, I got you. Yeah, 4-track tapes. I've had those before. They're pretty, they don't last, they weren't made to last 50 years.
Greg said, where's Sticker Kid?
Sticker Kid will be back here on Saturday night. He's with his dad during the week, and he's my adopted grandson. I get him on the weekends.
Breakfast King of Loyola. So what are your favorite Motown tracks?
Motown tracks. I like some of them, but I focus so much on the Beatles, Stones, and Led Zeppelin, I don't listen to Motown a whole lot. What's your favorite Motown tracks? So, the Led Zeppelin documentary sure has changed the demand for Led Zeppelin 1. I've sold about 5 of these in the last 2 weeks. This is a UK pressing. This is like a 4th or 5th pressing on Red Plum label. Just amazing way to hear. In my opinion, it sounds better than the US pressings of Led Zeppelin 1. But I'm not gonna, I got my turquoise. Not gonna sell my turquoise one, I'm holding on to that. Talk about a historical artifact. This is it right here. I know Jason Rojas has one of these too. It may not be the best sounding pressing, the very first pressing, but it's the earliest pressing in England that was a mistake. And then they quickly changed it to the orange instead of the turquoise.
Paul should not be allowed to die, guy. Great, I'm looking forward to Saturday night for the complete Paul is Dead clips. And 4-track tapes are the same size as 8-track.
Yeah, I have a 4-track. I'll show my 4 tracks I have on Saturday night. I got them in the other room. Talking about 4 tracks and 8 tracks. How about original cassettes? The way they were released in the United States on a paper label. Paper label of Revolver. This probably was a cassette released a couple years later, probably 1968. It's got the original insert with all the Capitol Beatle albums. Everything they released on cassettes and Capitol Records. Got the Beach Boys, the Beatles. They show a Magical Mystery Tour, Revolver, Rubber Soul, and Sgt. Pepper. And this is the original 1969 of Abbey Road. It's got the label there. It's a hard, and it's got the paper label on the cassette. That's the way the cassettes were originally released.
DJ Marino said 4-track tapes are museum items now.
And that's another artifact, historical artifact. Think how many years ago these things came out. Talking about 55 years ago.
The Paul should not be allowed to die, guys. About time you treat yourself, Frank. I hope you keep a couple of butcher covers for yourself.
I have the first state stereo butcher cover I'm keeping for myself. Led Zeppelin 4, another UK pressing that sounds amazing. With Porky Pecco Duck in the dead wax. Side 1. I've been listening to these pressings a lot lately. The UK Led Zeppelin 1, 2, 3, and 4.
And Dan says he got Greg and Dan.
Greg said complete cassette blue box set here for sale.
Okay.
Dan said, does the historical artifact
designation.
What?
Designation make it more valuable?
No, that's the term you're using. Because you're using that term, he's asking, does that make it more valuable?
In my opinion, it makes it more valuable because so much time has passed on to get the first pressing of a Beatles album that was released in the world, or a Led Zeppelin, or a Rolling Stones. The very first way Rolling Stones was released on Through the Dark Paisley in the United States, factory sealed with the hype sticker for Honky Tonk Women. I say that's a historical artifact. I was 15 years old, so I was a sophomore in high school, and I heard Honky Tonk Women on the radio And I go, wow, the Rolling Stones are sure rocking out on that song. Historical artifact, the first pressing of a Rolling Stones album in North America.
The Paul Should Not Be Allowed to Die guy said, wow, I'd love to see you rocking out to Led Zeppelin Cranked Up.
It's got the original textured photo.
You cut that wrong time.
The bonus photo.
My bad.
And it's got the FFRR full frequency range recording mono. These were pressed in England and imported to the United States for the very first pressings of a Rolling Stones album. Probably came out right after the Beatles were on Ed Sullivan, the spring of '64. They made these photos later on for these albums late in the 60s, and they were glossy. But so you want to have a textured photo like the cover to have an original 1964.
PWC said, Mr. Stickermania, do you prefer Beggar's Banquet in stereo or mono? Mono sounds amazing.
Daniel says it's a fold down. So I've been listening to Beggar's Banquet more in stereo. I only like mono mixes when they're true mono mixes like the White Album and Sgt. Pepper. But the fold downs don't, I'm not really into going after those. Let It Bleed mono in England is probably a fold down also.
Daniel said mono is definitely a fold down.
Yeah. I like the true mono mixes from England, and there are not too many of those. There's some in for the Beatles albums, but I don't think there's too many in the Rolling Stones besides their early albums. I like the Between the Buttons and Aftermath, the UK pressings of mono.
Daniel says Sympathy for the Devil is in true mono. Rest of the tracks are not.
All right, so Symphony for the Devil is the one to go after or to listen to on the Beggar's Banquet. But am I correct? The Let It Bleed's the whole album is a fold down.
Greg said True Mono Magical Mystery Tour has the outtakes not on stereo. PWC said somehow the fold, if it is, sounds great. I have a Decca first press.
Okay. I've had it before several times, the mono UK pressing of Beggar's Banquet. Elton John, we're talking about Chapel Roan performing with Elton John. She did his song, Your Song, and Don't Let the Sun Go Down on Me. This is a first pressing of Goodbye Yellow Brick Road from England. But I got this in an import lot from England, and it did not have one of the albums. So it's only got sides 3 and 4. But it is a translucent album record on... Somebody asked the other day what TJM, they asked what that stood for on the Steve Westman program, and I knew right away that was Dick James Music. So I was the first person to get that right on the Steve Westman program last night. So I got to search and get the record 1 so I can make this Goodbye Yellow Brick Road complete. It's supposed to be the ultimate way to listen to Goodbye Yellow Brick Road. The first England pressing on DJM. You guys know the story of Dick James Music there. He's the one that was with the Beatles first on Please Please Me. There's a lot of my first pressing of Please Please Me had Dick James credits, but then Lennon didn't like that and McCartney, and it didn't last very long.
Johnny Ramone said Little Kardashian dissed Elton John. She's a loser.
Did you see that? I didn't see that. Right?
Who's the loser?
He said the Little Kardashian dissed Elton John.
Oh, just recently after the Oscars party?
I guess.
Well, Elton can't. He's like, he can't sing very good, but he's giving it his all. He got up there and he was singing Pink Pony Club with Chapel Roan. Give the guy, he's a legend. Give that guy a break. It's like somebody got on Mickey Dolenz case about him at the Fest for Beatle fans, one of these other Beatles channels. Mickey Dolenz is a legend. You see, I should respect him. That's my opinion. I thought when Mickey Dolenz did last year in August at the Fest for Beatle fans in Chicago, he came out and did Rocky Raccoon. He was struggling walking around the hotel, but when he got there on stage and he's singing, he's giving it his all, and I thought he did a terrific job on singing Rocky Raccoon from the Beatles' White Album.
Yes, he did. Great job.
Give the man credit. Give Paul McCartney credit. Give all these 80-year-old, 78 to 85-year-old rock legends, give them credit. They're still out there performing.
Greg said, Kardashian Oscar party, yeah, she sucks. Daniel Costello said Kylie getting major publicity for her relationship.
Yeah, with
Timothy Chalamet.
Yeah, but she's dated everybody. She was with Kylie.
I was disappointed because I thought that the Timothy was going to win the best Oscar, and I couldn't understand why he didn't win it.
Daniel said
for the best actor.
Daniel says the family manages to stay relevant.
Yeah, they do, don't they?
They do. They get themselves out there, that's for sure. All right, what else do I have to show? McCartney.
I didn't know that. He said Timothy used to date Johnny Depp's daughter. I didn't know that.
I'm the Paul Should Not Be Allowed to Die guy. Said I had the first 8 Canadian mono Rolling Stones albums. All many covers were textured, and the stereo covers were glossy. And my mono first Stones album had a free color photo included printed on it.
All right.
Mikey Arugula said you are 100% correct.
Oh, about giving these legends their credit.
I think so.
Yeah. Mikey Arugula's in the house. How you doing, Mikey?
Hello, Mikey.
Hello, Mikey. We're gonna be on. You're gonna be on with me next Wednesday night, 8:30 p.m. is my new time.
Yeah, I sent him the text.
And we'll do every little Beatles thing. Episode 4. I haven't come up with a theme yet. Maybe you'll come up with this one. And Barbara's gonna be on there, so we gotta figure that out pretty quick.
DJ Morano said Conan O'Brien was the best part of the Oscars.
Conan O'Brien, I saw his monologue. He's still pretty funny. I thought it was pretty good when he was kicked out. Adam Sandler for wearing gym shorts. I know that was all set up, but it's still a pretty funny skit. So this is a great way to hear the Beatles, 8 album set, Beatles from Liverpool, from England, with Harry T. Moss recuts, 1981. I think Harry T. Moss must have recut these in the late 70s. He sure knew what to do with the Beatles tracks from Abbey Road Studios. Andrew from Polygram's Auction says some of these tracks on here, like Strawberry Fields, are about the best way ever to hear some of these tracks. The hinge is still attached, and I haven't put this up on my STICKERMANIA 2853 store yet, but I would sell this for $200 shipped if somebody's interested. Records are in looking. Record 1 has been played a few times, but I didn't see any play wear on the other 7 records.
Yeah, Greg said Liverpool, Columbia, question mark, so I guess he was asking about it. And then to do the Mikey.
Mikey Arugula said, good, I agree. Paul and Mikey deserve credit, and so do Mickey. Yeah. And so do you and me. We old timers. Yeah,
well, me and Mikey I'm 71. Mikey Arugula's 70. We've been doing this a long time. We aren't going to be here forever. We're in extra innings, so give us a little respect. I'm trying to pass on my content and my knowledge as long as I can.
Greg
said Liverpool.
Joey,
I did a little.
Mullen, Joey Mullen lived to 77 years old.
Greg said, how much for a book?
The book, we talking about this book?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
This book's hard to get. Made in the UK, Beatles. Greg, I'd sell this to you for no less than $200 shipped.
Jesus.
It's got the best, I think, my opinion, the best overview of the Beatles singles manufacturing in the UK that you can get anywhere. All right, what else we got on the table?
Stuff.
Sit up, girl.
We were listening to, in the car today, the two CD set that came out in 2017 of the Sgt. Pepper Sessions. And I think Sticker Granddaughter, she heard When I'm 64 today. And I said, Paul McCartney was 25 when he was recording that song. I said, listen to that voice.
Yep.
His voice was so versatile, how he could go from Helter Skelter all the way to Blackbird and everywhere in between.
Johnny said, Greg, first generation fan too. He saw the Beatles at Hollywood Bowl, August 1964.
Yeah, Greg Fio saw the Beatles at the Hollywood Bowl, August 23rd, 1964. That's a first generation fan for sure. You saw the Beatles before. Mikey Arugula saw them in 1966 at Shea Stadium.
Nicole said, I turned 73 this month. Time flies when you're having fun.
Nicole, 73. Way to go. Happy birthday,
No,
Nicole.
this month she'll be turning 70.
Oh, this month she'll turn 70.
Yeah.
I'd say you're a first generation Beatles fan.
The Paul Should Not Be Allowed to Die guy said, I have only the box set of the Rolling Stones singles collection for the London years. Is the box worth anything?
Not too much. It gotta be complete. It's like when I sell my empty BC 13 blue boxes, I usually can only get about $70-$80 for an empty box.
He said the Stones box is from 1989.
1989. Paul McCartney.
Daniel Costello's.
Let me get to this. Paul McCartney, the one hand clapping that came out last year. I have not sold this yet. This is the one that has the bonus EP on there of the Backyard Sessions. And I think I sent an offer out at $79 on eBay on that today. Factory sealed from last year. This is the original Wings from 1970. Would this be 71? Wings Wildlife or 72? It's got the hype sticker affixed. Got Denny Lane right there, Denny Silva, Paul and Linda. It's an album that'll grow on you the more you listen to it. Bip Bop, Some People Never Know, Love is Strange, Wildlife, Tomorrow, Dear Friend. And I even have the songbook, the original songbook for Wings Wildlife.
Uncle Paul said, remember Paul wrote I'm 64 when I was 14. That's my favorite song, Uncle Paul.
Yeah, he wrote When I'm 64 when he's 14 years old. So if Paul's 82, or he's going to be 82, that would be, how many years ago did he write the song? I'm thinking about 68 years ago. Wow. You can't tell me some of the, you know, when they say about antiques, they're not antiques until they're over 50 years old. Well, a lot of these Beatle things are all over 50 years
Do
old.
the last 3 comments before he goes next thing.
Greg said, a day at the Hollywood Bowl I will never forget. Too bad the screaming killed my ears.
Yeah, I've seen the video of that. It's pretty amazing. They stayed in that rented Hollywood home for 5 days before that Hollywood Bowl show. And that it's amazing to me that they went to Alan Livingston's house that one day, and 300 people paid $25 each, and they got to bring their kids, and they got to spend some time. It was just like a line. You got to spend some time talking to the Beatles and getting their autographs for $25 a piece. That's an amazing story all by itself.
The Paul Should Not Be Allowed to Die guy said, I'm 65. Petro Egypt King said, awesome work. And Uncle Paul said, great taste, Travis.
Yeah, but do the Greg, because where he says where he sits is kind of cool.
Greg said, Daniel, my mom's box at the bowl was behind the pool. We were that close.
So that's where he was at. That was crazy, wasn't that?
Yeah. So, that's a good story there, Greg.
That's what I thought.
Sticks in your mind your whole life. It never goes away. It's like the first time you ride a bicycle, you never can forget that moment. So here are the Beatles. 1969 was this for the Hey Jude. I think this was taken in 1969 by Linda Eastman, this picture. But that would have been 56 years ago. Time marches on. You could tell that George just wanted out of there as soon as possible. Ringo's like flustered. He can't believe the Beatles are breaking up. And Paul and John are there in the middle.
Fighting for the center. That's what it looks like. They're both fighting for that center.
And talking about the butcher cover, I brought up that. So, somebody on another Beatles chat disagreed with me that John Lennon's the one that pushed for this to be released, but that's what I believe. Brian Epstein was just doing what John Lennon told him he had to do. Brian Epstein did not want this photo on the album cover, and John Lennon said, yes, you will. And they kept saying, it'll never fly, and John says, well, let's try it. They made 750,000 covers of this by mistake because it wasn't supposed to go into full production, but it did. And then all of them, but about 50,000 of them were destroyed and put into public dumps and covered up with water and bleach. There'd be nothing left of them by now. Where are we at on time?
It's 9:27.
Daniel.
We got a few more minutes.
Daniel said John was battling addiction at that time.
John was what?
Battling addiction at that time. His mind wasn't in the right state of mind.
When the butcher cover photo was taken?
Or just that whole time.
That whole time, Run for Your Life, butcher cover, the Christianity comment.
The Paul Should Not Be Allowed to Die guy said, go online and listen to the deconstruction versions of Oh Darling, Helter Skelter.
Helter Skelter.
Yeah,
Oh Darling, Paul would go to Abbey Road Studios and he would get there 2 hours before the rest of the Beatles showed up, and he practiced that Oh Darling vocals for over a week before he could get that screaming right. And there's people on YouTube that says that there is not an artist out there now that could sing that Oh Darling the way that Paul McCartney did on the Abbey Road track.
Daniel said in 1969 when they broke up, him and Yoko were addicts.
Yes.
Mr. Beatles Pro said fest in 23 days.
Fest in 23 days. All right, so I'm right. It's not 4 weeks. It's a little over 3 weeks. We're going to be leaving in 3 weeks from today, I guess, to go to New Jersey.
Greg said, Time Marches On by Wilfred Brantwell.
The grandfather in Hard Day's Night?
Maybe.
Led Zeppelin, we talked about Ruddles. Here's a couple something news in this chat, this live stream. This is the way they were sealed in the 60s and 70s with a pasted on cover slick and the white on the bottom and the top. And then in the mid 70s, they went to a poster board, and you can see it doesn't have the white on the bottom or top. So that's the difference of a 60s pressing sealed and a 70s pressing of the same album. And might as well talk about the Ruddles a second. We talked about the anthology last week and how it was originally in the 70s. It was called Long and Winding Road. It was a 90-minute documentary put together by Neil Aspinall. And before Eric Idle put together the Ruddles video special that was on ABC television, he got to see an early print of the Beatles anthology called The Long and Winding Road. And that's where he got a lot of the ideas that's in the Ruddles movie, All You Need Is Cash. This is in the factory shrink. It's not sealed, but the gatefold cover has never been opened up. And it's got all the strange Beatle references of different Ruddles albums. I remember the first time I saw the Ruddles I saw it when it was first on TV, and it took me a while to understand all the humor in that Eric Idle. It's like a Monty Python movie. Mick Jagger was in it, and Paul Simon was in the original Ruddles movie. They interviewed both of them.
Greg said, yep, the grandfather, he is very clean.
Yeah.
Uncle Paul said Dirk, Nasty, Sting, and Barry.
Yeah, those were their Ruddles, their names. Dirk, Nasty, Sting, and Barry.
And then your friend Dan from Florida, I believe the last Photoshop of the Beatles was by Ethan Russell, not Linda McCarthy.
Well, Linda McCartney did some of the photos, but you're right. Maybe that official one I just showed was Ethan Russell. He's in the Get Back documentary on Disney Plus a lot, where he's taking photos of the Beatles where they're doing that Get Back documentary.
Uncle Paul said first appearance was Saturday Night Live doing cheese and onions.
Yeah. Neil Innes did Cheese and Onions on Saturday Night Live, and then they also did a video of the song It's Like I Want to Hold Your Hand, but I'm not coming up with the title of it right now.
And then I'm the Paul that Not Allowed to Die guy, the stereo version of the German.
Hold My Hand. Hold My Hand.
I Want to Hold Your Hand from something new. You can turn the balance to one side and it becomes karaoke.
Yeah, a lot of the Beatles' early albums were like that, where the instruments were on one side and the vocals were on the other. It wasn't until you got to Beatles for Sale where that changed a little bit.
George Harrison was a reporter in Ruddles.
Yeah, he was a reporter in the Ruddles movie.
And then Johnny Ramone said, great recording by the grandfather, very Shakespearean, Time Marches On.
Yeah, Time Marches On for all of us.
And Uncle Paul said, I must be in love, yes, and I guess that's the end of the stream. Unless you got anything else to do.
All right, thanks a lot for joining us. I hope you like my new earlier 8:30 p.m. We'll try to stick with that for Saturday. And with Mikey Arugula next Wednesday with Barbara. So join us then Saturday and join us next Wednesday. And thanks a lot from Louisville, Kentucky, and joining us.